This fall, I'm making my very first sweater. I hope it turns out good, and if I get good enough, I might make her one too. We'll see if it lasts me until the winter. Today is October, I think the 12th, and so we'll see how long it takes. Also, I really wanted to show you guys what colors I ended up getting and what I got for my goals. So I got this pound of yarn, this blue. This one would be for Kurt. I got this pound of love, a Lions brand one for me. I think that'll look really cute. And then I got 2 sets of knitting needles. I got a 4.5 and a 5.5 and about 75 centimeters. And they're like the round ones, so you can knit in around. So we'll see how this goes. So I'm gonna be playing Kurt's game and working on the sweater while everyone else levels up because I've already leveled up. So I knitted my gauge, but I just unraveled it because I'm going to use it back in the pattern. But basically, like, you measure to see how your stitching looks compared to the pattern people, just to make sure that like the sizing is all correct. And so I measured myself, found the size, and got everything done. So this is how far I got after one day of knitting. I just had a really cool chat with my dad for 3 hours, and this is the progress I've made on the sweater. Nice. Right now it's almost 3 centimeters long, and I have to get it to 4 before I purl all the way around, and then I do another 4. Yay! We have finally hit the 4 centimeters. And so now I'm going to purl all the way around, and then I'm going to make another 4 centimeters. So tonight I listened to the Lord of the Rings audiobook. It is super good. I was at the part like where they go into like the other elves territory, and I'm reading the first book, or I guess listening to the first book. And then I also watched videos on Norway and like where to travel to. Recently I found out that I'm more Norwegian than I thought, and then also I just love their knitting style, and I want to be able to read their knitting patterns one day, and so I'm trying to learn Norwegian. I don't know if I'll actually be able to. We'll see if I actually do it and if I keep up with that, but that's part of what inspired me to do a sweater, because at some point in life you realize that you have the tools you need to do the things that you want, but you just have to go ahead and do them. Like, for me, writing a book was a big thing, and now I'm done with the first draft, and it's really like Nike says, like, just do it. And so I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be good at sweaters right now for my first one, but look, I feel so happy. Like, that's how far I've gotten. And do you see that one line across it? That's where I purled it. It's upside down though. So that's the 4 centimeters, and it's about 3 centimeters right now. I already measured it. So let's see how it goes. I already did make some mistakes though. But because this is like a fold over collar, you won't really be able to see them once I fold it over, because the second half of this is coming out way better than the first part, just because I actually haven't really knit properly until now. I found out that I was knitting wrong this whole entire time, and so now that I've readjusted and I've learned how to do better, I think it's coming out pretty cute, pretty good. One more thing, I just realized I've been knitting for exactly 4 hours straight, and this hand is feeling it for sure. The sweater goals for tonight are watch Dancing with the Stars while knitting and finish the collar, and hopefully get started on the yoke.
Because dancing is about filling out the space. Put your head over that foot like this and put it into there.
Hey kids, shoot for the stars! I love you! They're like, oh my God, Dad is going.
I saw you use no understand the whole space. I see it, and I love that.
So I'm a mom, and any mom knows there's no separation between mothers and children.
So this is the collar. Obviously it's not perfect because it's my first time, but I think it looks pretty good. I think obviously the biggest error, but it is what it is. It's like one of those folded over collars, and so I'm about to sew that or knit that, and then get started on the yoke. With Dancing with the Stars, obviously Haley and Derek won the night for dedication night. It It was just so sweet. I think we all cried. The hard thing though about watching Dancing with the Stars and knitting is that like I look up and I want to watch, and then I only really knit during the commercial breaks. It was cool though because Sadie Robertson made a guest appearance, and she is probably one of my favorite people to follow. It's almost 11, so ta-da! That's the collar sewn in, and I put the markers already for shaping the sweater. The other cool thing is it took me so I watched the show is about 2 hours, and it started at 7, and right now it's 11, so it took me about 4 hours to get this far, but like 4 casual hours, I had totally forgotten to switch it to the bigger needle, but hey, at least now I'm on the pink needle instead of the green needle that I was using before. So right now I'm trying to undo all my purling because I was trying to do the advanced technique and I was like, this is easy, and then it wasn't easy, and so now I'm just going to do the basic technique, and it's like, it's true, like the prideful get humbled so quick. So it took me about an hour to undo the purling and then to do the first row of the yoke. I haven't done the knit all around. That part is mostly just for me, so I remember where I left off. But yeah, this is where I'm at.
There's an unlimited number of creative ways you could use it, but if you're being chased down a hallway and then you like transform into
I finished knitting row 2 of the yoke, so that means that tomorrow I get started on row 3, and for repeat is late. Oh yeah, and then that means that, so I started this at 9, but I kind of got distracted by as chit-chatting, so that is really, I'm gonna deduct an hour, so this was like an hour and a half. Dang. Okay, so yesterday I updated you that I got to I was about to start row 3. Well, anyways, I realized I was using the stitch markers completely wrong. So my stitch markers look like little locks, and so I thought you're supposed to lock them onto the stitches. I didn't realize you're supposed to place them in between the stitches and then like push them along. So what that caused is like the increases were like increase to increase, and the next row would be increase to increase, instead of like, because like the increase is before the stitch marker, it really should have been like increase 3 increase, and then the next one probably would have been like increase 4 increase, like after like the knit row. And so I had like totally done it wrong, so that means the construction of the sweater was going to end up wrong, so I just had to undo everything and then put it all back together. What time is it right now? So like from 7 to 11:40, but I was kind of like helping Kurt a little bit with his game, and so like I was mostly focused on that. I wasn't really knitting or undoing knitting and trying to catch the stitches. So I'm just gonna say that this took about probably like an hour and a half or 2 hours. So that's my update. So anyways, where I'm at right now is I finished one and I knit one, so tomorrow when I start I'm gonna be on my knit 2 row, and I think I have to do over 20, I know that. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I just realized I messed it up again. So basically the stitch markers are kind of like a thing, and you protect the stuff in the middle, and you do the right on the right side and you do the left on the left side. So I'm gonna have to undo and restart again. So it has been restarted. Hopefully this time I'm smart. See, all the markers are off, and I'm about to put them all back on and place them on properly. And actually, this will be the last restart. But it's so important to like construct the sweater properly and to increase it in the right places, that way it fits over your shoulders good and everything. And I'd rather mess up at the beginning and restart in the beginning than like get to the end and realize I don't want to wear it because the top part's messed up, and so that's why I fixed it so many times. But at least the collar is cute. So undoing everything took about 3 hours, just because I always try to be sure like not to drop a stitch, and so I go kind of slow. And I started knitting backwards, like the wrong way, just because I'm so tired. So I think I'm just gonna go to sleep and try again tomorrow. Tomorrow I should actually have a lot of time to knit, because Kurt is preparing for his session for his game, so that'll be a lot of fun. And I always look forward to his games, but that's not till the nighttime, but he'll be preparing all day for it. So we're back at square one. Haven't knit a row, haven't done any, so tomorrow I'm starting on first row, and then I'm gonna knit one row, and hopefully I'll be more awake to figure out which way to go, because I don't know why, I can't remember. Okay, I'm too tired to think if it goes this way or that way, just because I had to undo all the rows. And then the loose string doesn't help me, because typically you could tell from that, but it's kind of like a knot from when I finished the first row. Or no, it's not really a knot, it's just, it just doesn't tell me anything. Okay, now we're gonna try the yoke again, and this time we're gonna do it correctly. So I know my hair is a mess, but so when I was counting my stitches, they weren't lining up, which means it already has a row of increases in there. So that means I didn't go back far enough. So now I'm gonna go back so far that the collar isn't connected, and then kind of restart from there. I'm kind of frustrated, so I've decided to restart from scratch. Kurt will help me. At least it'll fix some of my errors that I made in the neck part, and it will just make it look nicer overall now that I have a better idea of what I'm doing. And this will probably be the only restart of the sweater. Kurt is a real one. So the main thing that I'm gonna change is, do you see like how this has 2 of these? I messed up in that, so I need to do it differently. It has been unraveled. I actually liked making the collar part, so this should be good. And hopefully, I think something else that I learned is that I just need to, whenever I do knitting, I need to knit a little bit looser stitches. I'm just so used to crochet where it's like you knit it a little bit tighter, because you know you're making things, you're not making garments. You know, size doesn't really matter, but you just want it to not fall apart in any way. So this I definitely knitted a little bit too tight. So now I'm gonna roll up that ball and start again. You know, you can't undo an unraveling, so it is what it is. Also, I decided that if I ever post this, I'm calling this the Misadventures of my first sweater. I'm starting my cast on at 11:12 a.m. and I'm not gonna record again until I'm back to the yoke. It is 4:30, so I finally got to this part again, and then I'm gonna fold it over, knit it together, and then try to do the yoke that I struggled with so much. I am extremely relieved to be past the first yoke line. Next time I do it, I have to knit all the way around, and then I'll be on row 2, and I'm so grateful. And I did it correctly. Starting from scratch was definitely the right call. It looks so much better around the collar. It's actually very consistent. You know, you never get it right on your first try. And like knitting a sweater is like a really big deal, and so you're never gonna do anything right on the first try. And so I think it's really good that I restarted. Yeah, it really is like practice makes perfect, and my principal used to say perfect practice makes perfect, and so I do agree with that. So I was able to learn the techniques the first go round, and now I'm going to make some food, get ready for Kurt's game tonight, and because that was a lot. Also, now the yarn looks pretty again because all of the wrapping that I did on it is gone. So yay. This is where I'm at after working on it for 4 hours today. This is 12 rows into the yoke. I think I need like 30 something. So at 15 it'll be halfway. But yeah, I'm gonna go cook and get ready now.
inspiration. After not shutting up about the working class, not shutting up about being middle class and firm, the only person who said that she did was a friend of her mom.
Okay, look, the first, and I'm not done with the yoke, right? And like, it obviously can't extend more just because of the wire, but I think that's kind of cute. Let's see how much knitting I get done when I am burnt out, exhausted, while cooking chicken.
Choose 2, but like you can choose any number up to 4, but you have to have an equal number of each, okay? Okay. Just to give you a brief rundown.
I was crocheting for the, I'm not crocheting, I knit for the whole drive, and I did this much. Okay, but I need to I need to finish this row knitting. Don't forget that. During the break I took from knitting, it was actually my birthday weekend, and so I'll show you some footage of what we did. We went to an apple orchard, and it was so beautiful, and apples are one of the few foods that I can eat right now, and so I got to enjoy like the best ever crisp apples. The leaves were falling. It was truly stunning, and that apple orchard. Wow. I'm like, it's never been this tall before.
And the mountain cliffs are slowly collapsing into the waters. You've been called by the people of the town to investigate.
The next day we went to a pumpkin patch and we carved pumpkins, and but the night after we got home from the apple orchard, Kurt designed my perfect game for me. But yeah, we made the dragon pumpkin.
Yes, they did. You know, you never know.
Strudels.
Oh.
Hello. I took like a week break from working on my sweater since my birthday, just because I had a scan coming up and I knew that I could crochet during it, and that like it had to be like a small project, and so I decided to work on a baby blanket for my friend, and so I was able to do that and complete that, and now that I'm done making that. And also I got to learn how to like embroider the name onto it for the first time. So I was really excited about that. But yeah, so now I'm going to work back on my sweater. I believe that I finished 26 rows, and I just need to finish knitting this row, and that'll put me on row number 27. I finished knitting that row, so that means I only have 2 more rows left and then 2 more knit rows left. Crazy. Hello. It's 11 on the daylight savings day, and so it's really more like midnight. So I decided to stop for tonight. I have 1 more knit row, then I have 1 more increase row and 1 more knit row, and then I'm finally done with the yoke. It feels so long now. So as I'm knitting this, I'm kind of realizing something. Like I've been watching like a lot of like knitting YouTube videos, and I realized that like the difference between like knitting and crocheting like community wise is like knitting is kind of like considered more posh. Like you have to get like all the yarn that you want for a sweater or something up front because it takes more yarn, you know? Whereas with a crochet project, you know, there are plenty of things you could do with one skein. Then with knitting, like it's typically very common to buy the patterns that you want. But then like with crocheting, a lot of the patterns are for free on YouTube. So like those are some differences, like that kind of make me think that knitting is a little bit more posh, but I am enjoying knitting so far, and I also love crochet, so it's just something that I noticed. Also, I finished separating out the sleeves. I know it doesn't look the prettiest, but now I'm going to make the whole base, and then it will go to sleeves. It's 7 a.m., and I'm just going to knit and see how far I get. I haven't been doing the best job of keeping track of how much I've worked on the sweater, but today I did it for 4 hours. So far I am. I feel like I'm making pretty good progress. So I lost my stitch marker, but it's okay, because now I'm going to use my new stitch markers from my sister. Isn't that so pretty? Ah. Here's where we're at so far. it's nice. It's starting to look like a sweater. You might be able to hear Kurt in the background. It's 8 right now, and we'll see how far I get. This is where I'm starting out. It looks super long. I'm really happy. I'm not gonna make it as long as the video says to. You could probably hear Kurt in the background. I'm not gonna make it as long as the video says to because I'm kind of short, and so because I'm short, I think it would look better a little bit shorter, but we'll see when we get there. I was able to work 30 minutes on my sweater during my lunch break. I am knitting again. Right now it is 6. We'll see where we end up. I kind of think that this actually will be a nice sweater. It's obviously not fitting right just because it's on the needle still, but yeah, I think it looks pretty good. How long it is now? We're getting so close. For like my size, it says to do it to 26 centimeters, but for the smaller sizes, it says 22 centimeters, and I'm pretty short. And so I'm gonna do the 22 centimeters and then try it on and see how that fits and like transfer this onto a yarn so we can actually try it on. But I think this is looking like it's a good length for me. I don't know how many centimeters I'm at. Last time I measured it, which was an hour ago, it was about 15 centimeters down, and so there were 7 centimeters left. So I don't know how many centimeters I've added since then. It is at 18 centimeters, so I'm about 4 centimeters away from finishing it and seeing if it's a good length for me. Now I'm gonna knit for 12 minutes exactly. It is 9:40 a.m. and I'm gonna get started on knitting. I'm probably gonna knit like the whole day. Right now it is almost 11:30 and I'm already at 21 centimeters. I know you can't really see it here, but because like the fabric is kind of, I wonder if because it takes 2 hands to see how many centimeters it is. But like, see, like, it's like, maybe it's more like 20.5 centimeters. But I'm super excited. We're getting close to finishing the body. That's so crazy. It's 11:50 right now, and so I'm gonna take a little bit of a knitting break. I'm super excited about where the sweater is at. It actually seems like I'm gonna finish the body today, which is kind of crazy. Get started on the ribbing at the bottom, probably finish that, and then probably a different day start the sleeves. Okay, so looking at this in the mirror, I actually think I'm gonna do the recommended knit length because it looks like it's a little, also ignore the shorts, they're just pajamas. It looks like a little too short. I really want it to hit like right there, so that's probably like about like 3 more centimeters. Hello, it's 2 p.m. I just finished knitting. I'm gonna start getting ready for church, and hopefully I'll be able to knit before the service while Kurt serves. I am at church and I just started knitting, and so we'll see how far I get. Hello. So I got back from church. I was able to knit all the way through the body. I put it on the other needles. I'll show you that in a second. It was just super sweet to be back in the body of Christ. We hadn't been for a hot second because like you get into these seasons where life just gets so busy, and then plus I haven't been feeling the best, and so I hate to admit it, but we had been out of in-person church for a few weeks, and it was just so good to just be back. And when I was knitting in the lobby, one of the ladies came up to me and she said, "Wow, that's so impressive." And then another one came up to me and said, like, "Oh, I've always wanted to learn how to knit, and like you look like you've been doing it all your life." And then one of my friends came up and said, "Wow, you're so gifted at that." And just like that encouragement is like something that you really only get from the body of Christ, because, you know, like Jesus is joy, God is joy. And so like, and these people are full of Jesus, full of joy. And I just love that encouragement and just how sweet they are. And I encourage everyone to go be a part of their church bodies and to just be generous with encouragement, because you just never know how it's going to touch someone. But yeah, I had a great day today. See how it's on these needles now. Also, church today was really nice because I got prayed over for just the healing in my body, and it's just so nice to be prayed over just because like I want God to be part of this process whether I'm healed or not, and it's just so important to me to just like always include God in everything. It is 10:43 and I am done knitting for the night, and my hair is up because I exercised. I knitted for an hour at work, and I'm about to start knitting again, and it is 5:42, so we'll see how I do. I knitted until 8, and then I took a 30-minute break, and then I knitted for another 30 minutes, and now we're about to play Mario Wonder. It is 10:20, and we'll see how much I knit.
But retrieving the articuno costs them, and then I can separate them again. So it's always better to just.
It is 11:04, and I think I should stop knitting for the night, so that way I can get up at a good time for work tomorrow. 6 centimeters of ribbing done, 1 centimeter left. So I started knitting at 6:30, and I'm waiting for Dancing with the Stars to begin, and I always knit slower during that. And so I'll probably be knitting until 9. This is how far I am on the ribbing. I'm at 6 centimeters, and I'm trying to get to 7. So probably by the end of Dancing with the Stars, the ribbing will be done, and I'll be moving on to arms, which is like so close to finishing the sweater, because it's like, I kind of always pictured it in like different parts where it's like the body, the yoke, the body, the ribbing, the arms, the arms, and then the 2 more ribbing. So like 7 parts. And we're almost done with like part 3. So it's like we're halfway there. So I don't know if I mentioned this, but I'm actually following a video tutorial, and during the commercial breaks I learned from the video tutorial how to bind off, and so now I'm just gonna go around and bind off. It is 11:40, and I finally finished binding off. Ta-da! There you go. Next up is the sleeves. This is my first time trying it on. It's a little big. See? Now onto the sleeves. I knit for an hour on my lunch break. My birthday gift from my grandma, she gave me some birthday money, and so I got some really nice stitch markers arrived. I'll link the Etsy shop that I got them from, but look at how cute they are. Like I have a little like Nutella and ice creams. I'm about to take one of these out to knit with for the sweater. And then look, I have these like little strawberries, a cloud. I'm gonna use the chocolate bar one that's hidden behind that cloud right there. That's gonna be the one that I'm gonna use to knit. And so I'm super excited. This is a close-up of the chocolate stitch marker. I decided to go with this one because it's the only one that I got one of. My crazy goal is to finish this sweater before I go to Maryland. I was feeling kind of disheartened by the sleeves because I was like, I haven't done that much, but look, this one doesn't even cover that pink sleeve, and this one mostly covers that pink sleeve, and this is the one I'm working on because the needles are on a DC. Yeah, that's so cool. And look, there's a little chocolate stitch marker. So I decided to knit and watch a movie, and I actually got to the 10 centimeter mark, which makes me super happy. I'm going to finish up this round, and then I'm going to put in the decrease markers. Nobody told me that the sleeves go by so much faster than the rest, which would make sense because it's just like less stitches that you go around. But I just didn't think about that. So hitting this 10 centimeters felt relatively quick. I am now halfway through this sleeve. I'm so excited about it. I mean, halfway through the sleeve, not including ribbing. I'm so excited. I'm about to take a meal break and then I'll get right back to it. What happened here? Oh my gosh. Oh, duh, it's the decreases. Haha. Yep. Nice. So that means I knit for 1 hour and we are 1 week away from our road trip. I can still work on it on the road trip. I just want it to be done before we head to DC. So this is how it's looking. I'm so excited. I feel like if I go like this, I can kind of pretend like I know how it's gonna look. I don't know. It is 7:30 and I'm gonna be taking a break from knitting to go make myself some dinner. I was meal prepping for the week earlier, so I did that and I didn't actually eat anything, and so now I'm actually going to eat. It is 8:52 and I am back to knitting. It makes me so happy to see all the removable stitch markers, like in all the different colors, and then with the little chocolate. It's so cute. I love it so much. And I'll be able to remove these when I get to 6. They're good to keep track of how many decreases I've done. It is 10:47 and this is where I'm stopping for the night. It is 11:42 a.m. I have to get this to 33 centimeters. Let's see, I am at about 25, so 8 more centimeters. I would really like for the sleeve to hit like my middle, like the middle of my hand, so I'm actually gonna knit for 4 more centimeters and then do the 7mm ribbing. Then I'm super excited because then I gotta get started on the other sleeve. I'm not gonna do the ribbing until the very end. Okay, so I'm at 7 centimeters for the arm, and so now I'm gonna start the ribbing. Yay! I'm doing myself a favor, so let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Wait, let's try. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 19. So that is 19 from here before I start the ribbing and before I switch the needles. So number 20 will be the needle switch. I had to purl 2 together because I had 63 and it needs to be an even number. So not 62 stitches on the wire or on the knit. This is where I'm at. It is 3:34. I'm gonna take a break, get ready for church. This is, I decided to just like knit the start of the ribbing, but like not actually do the ribbing, and instead get started on this sleeve, which I know you can't really tell, but like I just picked up the stitches that were on the underarm, and now I'm gonna go get ready. I was really anxious about, you know, finishing this sleeve and not finding the motivation to finish this sleeve, so while I still have motivation, I wanted to get started on this sleeve, so that way it's just easier to keep going with this sleeve rather than feeling like I'm restarting. And then just work on the ribbing whenever I feel like I don't have mental energy. It is 6:51 and I'm going to start working on my sweater again. It is 8:51. I was kind of texting, so it is more casual knitting. And I'm gonna go make some dinner. It is 11:12 and I'm done knitting for the night. I placed a new stitch marker on my sweater for the other sleeve. I'm super excited about this one. I think it's so cute. I used to have like a little Nutella on my college like dorm room door, like as like a, like when you entered. And so it's like a cute little nod to that. I bought this from the same shop as the other one, the chocolate one. It is midnight 30. I'm done knitting for the night. I got pretty far on the sleeves, I would say. I missed a decrease, which made me sad. I don't know how to even it out. I'm a beginner. And then I cleaned up the yarn and untangled it. Honestly, that last hour was just detangling. I am knitting for an hour during my lunch break. It is 9:35 and I have finished knitting my sweater. I haven't weaved in the ends yet, as you can tell, and I haven't blocked it out. But this is how it looks. I will probably block it out in Maryland. I think it looks super good. I am super excited about it. With the blocking, the sleeves will probably go down a little bit more, and obviously all the stitches will become even, so I'm really excited for that. I'm so tempted to do it right now, but putting a wet sweater in the car when it's freezing outside does not sound like a good recipe, so I'll just wait. Okay, it is 10:30 and the ends are weaved in. And this is how the sweater looks like before it's been blocked. Okay, I'm about to start blocking the sweater. It's soaking in the water right now. Now I'm gonna leave it to dry. I ended up putting it... My first sweater is complete. This is the end result. I love it so much. My first sweater is now complete. I'm so happy. Hello, so it's been a month since I finished the sweater. I've worn it about 3 times, and it's super easy to wash. I'm pretty comfortable in it. I really like it. I'm trying to think of a good name for the sweater right now. I want to give a name to each of the sweaters I make. You can tell at the end of the video that like I didn't block it, like I didn't go through blocking it, and the reason for that is all because I realized that the acrylic wouldn't block like how I wanted it to, and so I ended up just washing it and then drying it like normal because I wanted it to be machine washable anyways. For me, life is too short to hand wash, and so that's what I did, and I'll let you know when I come up with a good name. So for the name of the sweater, I kind of want it to be a nod to Dancing with the Stars because I was addicted to that show while working on the sweater. I was rooting for Phaedra the whole time. Their team name was Peaches and Cream, but the sweater is blue. So I'm trying to think of a good name for it. Comment a good name if you have any based on what you've noticed I watched while I was working on the sweater. But yeah, thank you so much for watching my misadventures of my first sweater, and I'm really happy with the end result. Have a good day. Bye.